So we're talking some of the best grouse shooting in the country.
The Cheviot Hills is an island, but where we are up the height that we work up to over the 600 metre line, it's a tough old existence even for grouse up here because we have our own microclimate. So it's not massive numbers because we are this little island on our own. We don't be looking to be, we can't shoot thousands of brace of grouse. And there's lots of years where, because of the weather, we don't shoot at all. Because when we do our counts, if there's less than 4 of an average per brood, that's it. Boss won't shoot.
Can you explain that?
Well, because you're shooting your stock. You know, so we're only trying, as all grouse moors are, is to create a surplus. And all you're doing is harvesting a surplus. And you harvest that surplus for the health of the hill.
So they're wild?
There is nothing wild there. They're indigenous to this country. Nowhere else on planet Earth can you find the red grouse.
You're not breeding them?
No, it's impossible. There's only the mother, the hen. She's the only one that can teach the young grouse within the first 3 days if there's 43 key things for them to eat on that hill for survival, she's the only one that can teach them how to do that. You know, they need to be on insects for protein straight away to give them that initial boost. Then she has to teach them all about yes, they need a bit of heather. Heather's more for, you don't need a lot of heather to produce chicks. You need heather for protection from predation and for cover in the winter, whether it be snow and things. But that's then when you get into, you need your bilberry, you need your cotton grass, whether it be hare's tail or common cotton grass. You need your crossleaf heaths, you need your benty grass. It goes on and on and on, and only she can teach those chicks what to select.
So the job then, like you say, is to manage the stock.
Yes.
And you don't shoot the stock.
No.
You only shoot the surplus.
Yes.
So do you come this 12th of August, for example?
Yeah.
How's it looking for this year for you?
They're only just coming out the egg. You have no idea what it is like just now. So this is the time when there's lads all over the country out there right now. Their anxiety levels are through the roof. It's the not knowing, but it's also the thing that keeps them all alive. All the lads that do this job, just to have that you may have a few grouse come the 12th of August and you've done your job to the best of your ability. And it's as simple as that. We went lots of years just because of weather with no shooting. Come the 12th of August, grouse is mature at 10 weeks old, 10 to 12 weeks. If we have had a bad or a late spring, some of them may not be fully matured. So on the 12th of August, if you get a warm day, you walk over a lot of stuff. But there's nothing you do about it, that's nature, so you will take forward what is ready to go to take your harvest off.
So you need to get them up, and you need to get them at speed.
Yes.
And that's why the butts are traditionally placed where they are, because that's where the grouse are at their fastest.
Absolutely.
Right.
On ridges, hugging the contours, falling downhill, hopefully, because with the wind at their back. You don't want to drive, if I was to turn up on a morning and tell the boss that we were going to do 3 upwind drives, I'd probably get P45 straight away. It's downwind grouse, in front, at pace. So the August grouse are the ones where you're actually having to harvest them for the future, because if you leave too many, the same as deer, that if you've got too many deer and there's not enough for them to eat, they will suffer. The same as grouse. If there is too many of them, they will then stress each other out because they're territorial. There's too many fighting for only a certain amount of territories. So you must go in and take your harvest out when they're still at a harvestable pace, let's say. Because come October, you might never catch up with them, because that's them fully fit. In the Cheviots here, as I've been told by many people who come from over the country to visit, the grouse and the Cheviots are completely different from everywhere else. Because they will just come off at 1,000 feet high and they will just go to the next top at 1,000 feet. And they will just cruise about in packs come October. So from an August day where you may be lucky enough to shoot 200 brace, you can be within 4 days of shooting here, you can be down to 30 brace. Because as soon as they hear those doors banging at 2 miles away, they're gone.
So let's talk about the habitat.
So the habitat we create, so burning is now banned. And we've been in a no burn, voluntary no burn on heather, that is grown on peat that's over 400 millimetres. And we've been cutting for 3 or 4 years now. Now, we also had a few years because of the weather where we didn't cut, so everything was a jungle. And our chick mortality went through the roof, because without open ground, when they hatch, they're constantly wet. And then also, sunlight doesn't get in, so the insect life's very, very limited with invertebrates and things. And we don't have young, whether it be shoots of heather, bilberry leaves, the cotton grass, all those things that they need for their mixed diet.
How do you know what they need? Just by experience, or?
By watching them, by, we're into this is an industry that's 200 years old. My father, old head keepers, it's passed down. It's a generational thing that you sitting and listening. It's only by spending time on the hill. There's lots of things that are not in books. It's our whole job is observation, and that's how you learn, basically.
So can we go through the basic grouse diet then?
So winter time, it's heather, because everything else dies back. So it's heather seeds, the pods, which within the pod there's all these little seeds. They'll use that so it's a very fibrous diet. Hence the reason why they need grit. So they'll eat, and they also need grit in their gizzard to grind it down. But at this time of the year, it's grasses. There's lots of different types of grasses up there. I could name, there's 50 of them, but predominantly they're nardus grasses, which grow on acidic grassland. They're not very good. There's only certain sheep can live up in the hills and certain livestock, because it's all acidic grasslands, But along with their young heather, so the grouse see in an ultraviolet perspective, and the young heather tips actually glow in an ultraviolet perspective. So that's how they can select them as well. That goes back to, you have three cones in your eyes, which show you all the primary colours in the world. Birds have 4, and their 4th dimension that they see in is ultraviolet. So that's how they go selecting the different age groups of nutrition.
So take away that nutrition, and that's when they start to struggle.
Well, that's it. Within certain areas of the moor, there is healthy territories, so they're territorial, and the younger, fitter male birds will fight for their territories, pushing out. So the bits where we've got it all in a good condition, that's where you'll get your young, healthy stock. And unfortunately, like everything in life, the old ones are pushed out to the edges where it's maybe not as good. So, they might have 1 or 2 chicks naturally, because it's not as good.
Your primary job with grouse then is to make sure that they breed.
It's all about the habitat. Simple as that. It's habitat and protection.